Chapter 18. Metaphysical Healing. The term which is used as a title for this chapter is a much abused one, and is employed by different people to describe nearly all forms of healing mentioned in this book. Of course, everyone using any form of psychic healing has a certain right to call his healing metaphysical, for the word metaphysical means beyond the physical, but the generally accepted sense of the term metaphysics means the science of being. And according to the strict interpretation of the term, metaphysical healing should be applied only to that form of healing arising only from the actual realization on the part of the patient of the reality behind appearances, of real being, of the real self of the universe. To one who able to unfold into an actual realization of that which is, there is at his disposal a wonderful healing power, both for himself and others, if he knows how to apply the same. But this knowledge is not always evidenced by those who unfold into the higher consciousness, and in fact, there is a decided tendency on the part of some of these people to neglect the physical altogether as unworthy of thought, the attention being turned entirely upon the higher planes of being. This position is wrong, for the physical plays a needed part in the unfoldment of the ego, and to neglect it is to run contrary to the law of life. The actual process of this form of metaphysical healing may be spoken of as a control of the lower by the power coming from the higher consciousness. The higher consciousness so manifests its power that it controls the lower. But, after all, it would appear that the real cause of the cure actually is found in the fact that the mind, being occupied in a contemplation of its higher planes of manifestation, ceases to concern itself with the workings of the lower planes, and consequently the latter operates according to the well-established laws of the universe without interference, and without the constant injection of negative thought which produces abnormal conditions in so many people. A realization of the higher nature and being of one has a tendency to uplift one above the thoughts of fear and worry, which act as poisons and cause disease in so many people. And the interference of fear thought being removed, nature, or what stands behind the word, operates freely and without hindrance. We shall describe higher phases of metaphysical healing in the next 2 chapters under the term spiritual healing, which we consider more appropriate. In this chapter, we refer principally to the forms of healing used by some of the metaphysical healers who confine their healing process to teaching the patient certain metaphysical systems, containing a greater or lesser degree of truth. But even in these last-mentioned forms of treatment, you will see that unconsciously the healer must be calling into effect the power of mental healing or suggestion, or both. The treatment that always follows the metaphysical talk must call into operation mental healing or suggestion, although the healer may not know it and may indignantly repudiate this fact and state that the treatment given is something entirely different. But, nevertheless, the student of psychic healing may readily recognize mental healing and suggestion under the many disguises draped around it. The best proof of the fact that there is a common principle operated may be found in the fact that the different schools of metaphysical healing, so-called, work cures in about the same proportion in spite of their various theories and creeds. Of course, they all have a common ground of agreement in their belief in the one life and spirit, but they vehemently oppose each other's claims and call each other victims of error and other pleasant names, but still all go on making cures and doing good healing work. Nevertheless, Christian Science and anti-Christian Science schools and cults seem to do equally good healing work. All this would seem to indicate that someone healing force is used by all, and that no sect has any monopoly of it. The power of the one life is always there, always ready and willing to be used by those who demand and use it, irrespective of the particular beliefs and theories or creeds of those using it. Like the sunshine and the rain, it falls upon all alike, who expose themselves to its power, or who attract it to them. It is all for all. The petty theories and differences of the cults are most amusing when one considers the infinite one. What children in spiritual knowledge, even the best of us, are each claiming that he has the only truth and the whole truth, and that all the others are in error. The truth seems to be that all have the truth, or portions of it fitting into their understandings, and that none have all the truth. The love and power of the infinite is equally the right of the individual seeker after the truth, as of the cult or sect that claims to be the mouthpiece of the all. Creeds are born, rise, fall, and die. Cults and sects and schools pursue the same path. All is birth, growth, and death relatively. Of course, all obey the law, which may be called evolution. Ages, people, races, lands, schools, cults, creeds, sects, leaders, may come and go, must come and go, but the law ever remains, unchangeable, unerring, unvarying, deathless, endless. Over all the law reigns, all do its bidding. None are its sole agents and mouthpieces, and yet all are its agents and mouthpieces. It uses all and yet is used by all. When this mystery is understood, then there is peace. It is useless to attempt to teach metaphysical healing to those who do not at least partially understand the higher teaching. To those who wish to know more regarding these teachings, we would recommend the advanced course in Yogi philosophy published by the same people who published this little book. To those who understand and who wish to heal themselves and others by this method, we would say that the only rule is this: grow into the silence and meditate upon the real self. When the realization comes, then give the healing treatment to yourself or others in some appropriate words, conveying the thought so far as may be. It is impossible to convey it fully in words. The following form will answer if you cannot frame one yourself. O Spirit, the one, birthless, deathless, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, in whose ocean of life I am a drop, let me feel thy presence and power. Let me realize even more fully what thou art and what I am in thee. Let the consciousness of thy reality and my reality in spirit permeate my being and descend upon all the planes of my mind. Let the power of spirit manifest through my mind, permeating the body of this other self that I am desirous of healing, or this body that I call mine own, bringing to it health and strength and life, that it may be rendered a more fitting temple of the spirit, a more perfect instrument of expression for the one life that flows through it. Raise up this body from the gross vibrations of the lower planes to the higher vibrations of the spiritual mind, through which we know thee. Give this body, through the mind that animates it, that peace, strength, and life that is its by virtue of its being. Do thou, the all-life, flow in thy essence through this the part, revivifying and enlivening it. This do I claim, zero, all spirit, by virtue of my eternal birthright from thee. And by reason of thy promise and inner knowledge given to me, I now demand it of thee. In place of this, or in connection with this, you may use any of the many statements of being that the various science bodies use, for they are all good. But remember this always: there is no magic in mere words, and no cult has any proprietary right to any special words. The words are free to you, and to all, and the virtue thereof lies in the thought and realization back of the words. Words come, go, and change, but thought and realization which express them is eternal. Read the next 2 chapters in connection with this one.